Look, if inflation had a name, you would have blocked it like your ex by now. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm saying that because deep down, you know something feels off. Things cost more, your paycheck stretches less, and somehow you're expected to stay positive while the world keeps squeezing you like it's testing your limits. One day you'll look back and wish you had listened to moments like this. So hear me right now, you're not crazy and you're not failing. You're living inside a financial storm designed to wear down your confidence. But here's the part no one ever told you: you're not the problem. Something much bigger is. And once you see it clearly, you'll never live your life the same way again. If part one was the wake-up moment, this is the part where the picture finally comes into focus. Because once you understand why you feel broke even when you're working hard, everything starts to make sense. Here's the truth most people never see. You weren't taught how money really works, you were taught how to survive inside a system designed to keep you dependent. Think about it. You spent years in school learning equations you'll never use, memorizing facts you forgot right after the exam, and repeating routines that trained you to follow instructions, not create options. But nobody sat you down and explained inflation, compounding, skill stacking, or how to escape that debt. Nobody showed you what actually builds wealth. And definitely nobody taught you how to think like someone who wins at the money game. So you grew up believing the trick was simple: get a job, work hard, and everything will fall into place. But the world changed, and you weren't updated. Inflation grew faster than your paycheck. Rent rose faster than your career. Groceries doubled while your opportunity tripled in cost, not value. It's like playing a game where the rules change every round, but no one tells you what the new rules are. And here's where it gets deeper. When money feels tight, your brain shifts into defense mode. You stop imagining, stop planning, and start reacting. You make quick choices instead of long-term ones. You focus on small fires instead of building something real. And little by little, you lose the one thing wealthy people protect more than money: mental bandwidth. This isn't about intelligence, it's about pressure. A mind under financial stress can't think about the future, it just tries to survive the week. That's why, when someone tells you to just save more, stop buying coffee, you feel like they don't get it. Because they don't. Being broke isn't the result of one big mistake, it's the slow erosion of your ability to see a better path. But here's the twist: the moment you understand the game, you can finally change how you play it. And the first rule is this: you don't escape by cutting more, you escape by thinking differently. You start stacking skills. You start spotting opportunities others overlook. You start building value instead of trading hours. And you stop giving your energy to things that drain your wallet and your confidence. You're closer to breaking out than you realize. You just haven't seen the blueprint yet. That's what comes next. Now that you see the system for what it is, let's talk about the moment everything starts to change, the moment you stop living like the world is happening to you and start moving like it's happening because of you. Here's the part nobody talks about. People don't escape being broke by making more money. They escape it by becoming someone new, someone the system can't trap anymore. And it always starts with one shift, a shift from reacting to building. See, most people stay broke because their entire life runs on autopilot. Wake up at the last minute. Come home exhausted by convenience instead of planning. Scroll to escape. Repeat. It's not laziness, it's mental fatigue. When your brain is tired, you choose whatever is easiest, not whatever is strategic. But here's the breakthrough. Your life changes the second you switch from emotional decisions to intentional systems. Instead of "I need more money," the mindset becomes "I need higher value skills." Instead of I can't start a business, it turns into I can learn one, a producing skill at a time. Instead of I'm stuck, it becomes I'm stacking skills until the exit appears. That's the real secret behind people who seem to rise out of nowhere. They weren't lucky, they were stacked. They built one small ability at a time until the world couldn't ignore them anymore. A communication skill, a digital skill, a negotiation skill, a problem-solving skill, a money management skill. 5 invisible tools that replace a lifetime of financial stress. And most of these skills cost nothing to learn. But staying broke, that costs everything: your peace, your time, your energy, your future. You don't need permission to start. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need a right moment. You just need to pick the first skill and build. One rep, one lesson at a time. Because the truth is, escape doesn't come from dramatic moves, it comes from daily decisions that quietly rewrite who you are. And once this shift happens, something surprising shows up next: momentum. Momentum is a strange thing. It doesn't show up the day you decide to change, it shows up the day after you almost quit but didn't. And that's exactly why most people never get to feel it. They stop right before the compound effect kicks in. But here's the truth you need to hear: momentum is the reward for consistency, not perfection. Think about the last time you tried to improve your finances. You probably did what everyone does: you made a plan. You started strong, then life hit you with a bill, an emergency, or some unexpected distraction. And suddenly you felt like all your progress was fake. Like you were back at zero. But you weren't. You were one decision away from the turning point. Momentum doesn't care about setbacks. It cares about direction. Every tiny skill you build, every piece of financial awareness you gain, every decision you make that stretches you instead of shrinking you, all of its tasks behind the scenes. Quietly, patiently, until one day you look around and realize you're not stuck anymore. This is where people go from surviving to rising. Not because life got easier, but because they became stronger. And once momentum hit, everything changes. You start noticing opportunities you used to overlook. You stop chasing money and start creating value. You don't fear inflation or bad debt, you outgrow them. You make decisions based on strategy, not stress. You finally see a version of yourself that feels capable, disciplined, and unshakable. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence creates action. Action creates results. Results create a new identity. And this new identity, it's the version of you that builds wealth instead of waiting for it. The version that understands the game instead of getting crushed by it. The version that becomes impossible to trap because you're always moving, always learning, always leveling up. But momentum also reveals something else, something people almost never talk about. It shows you the next step, the bigger step, the step that actually changes your life for good. This is the moment where everything you've learned so far starts pointing in one direction, the direction out. Because once momentum is on your side, you're no longer fighting to escape being broke, you're building the version of yourself who never falls back into that life again. But here's the twist almost nobody expects. Escaping brokenness isn't a financial move, it's an identity upgrade. When you reach this stage, the habits that once controlled you start losing their power. You don't spend out of impulse anymore, you spend with intention. You don't chase every opportunity, you select the ones that grow your skills. You don't panic when life hits you, you adjust, adapt, and move smarter. And that's exactly where people start to misunderstand you. They think you're being distant, disciplined, or too serious. But you're not. You're evolving. Because the truth is, once you start stacking skills, building systems, and controlling your direction, you suddenly see the traps you never noticed before. The subtle ones, the ones pretending to help you while quietly draining your future. Once you level up, you become a target for the traps designed to keep you average. Bad debt disguised as convenience. Trendy purchases disguised as rewards. Lifestyle upgrades disguised as deserving better. Financial shortcuts disguised as opportunities. But you won't fall for those anymore, not because you're scared, but because you're informed. Your mindset is shifting. Your awareness is sharpening. Your confidence is rising. And the moment you see the traps clearly, you can finally step around them. That's why your next move is critical. Not louder, not riskier, just smarter. You need to understand the biggest trap people walk into after they start improving a trap so subtle that it destroys progress without making a sound. That's the conversation waiting for you in the next video, the one you absolutely cannot skip if you're serious about changing your financial future. You're in a money trap and you don't even know it. It dives into the psychological, economic, and everyday triggers that pull people back into scarcity even after they start winning. If this video opened your eyes, that one is going to open the blueprint. Your transformation isn't ending, it's just beginning. And when you understand the traps ahead, you don't walk into your future blind. You walk into it powerful. And if you found value in this message, make sure you subscribe to Wisdom Recorded, your knowledge source. Hit that like button and continue your growth journey with us. Your next breakthrough starts now.